Take us back to Andy Daly as a child. I don't see you tossing the old football around.
What do you mean? by football.
Were you seem to me like you were maybe someone who had the sponge period where you're just absorbing.
Oh, yeah.
Is it TV? Are you a TV fanatic?
Yes, the TV was always on in my house. I can remember my father making the argument to my mother. He had the numbers for how much electricity the TV uses as opposed to the dining room lights. like we're not using any electricity by having the TV on all the time. Like that was his argument. He just liked to have the TV on all the time. So
I thought you were going to say you've been watching too much TV, so his argument was that you shouldn't be watching TV, but this was pro-TV.
He had thought it through, like why it made sense to always have the TV on.
Wow, what a time to be alive.
Yeah,
I
know.
never got that.
No, I didn't either. My father prohibited TV if there was school the next day, no TV could be watched during the day. So we, of course, were like, well, that shit's not happening. So my brothers and I would watch TV, and then we would hear my dad's station wagon, which was a 1970 Pontiac, yellow, pull up. And because of some defect in the car, it made a weird whistling sound.
Oh, my God.
And we'd hear the, "Ooh," and we'd be like, no! And we'd turn off the TV, and everyone would grab a book. And usually it was upside down. And my dad would come into the house, and the first thing he'd do is he'd rush to the TV and put his hand on the screen. And if it was slightly warm, or if he got a little static shock, he was like, and we would all go scampering around with our upside down books.
So you don't grab a book, grab the ice tray and just apply ice all around the TV.
Cool it off.
It's got to be a way to cool it off.
So anyway, I love that your dad was pro TV.
Super pro TV, yeah. We used to watch Abbott and Costello movies every Sunday, and I would watch Sesame Street, which is hilarious. Bert and Ernie are hilarious, and Grover. And yes, I think I did watch things as a student of comedy. The way that I see my 12-year-old watches things as a student of comedy too. Just kind of like figuring out, why is that funny? And what if I do that to my brother?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh, you can, and also there's so much great comedy timing you can learn from, like you say, Sesame Street's Muppets. The timing is really good. For me, it was Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yeah, I watched those too.
And just the figuring out the timing and different voices. And
it is crazy that in the 70s, when you would watch an hour of Looney Tunes cartoons, so many of them were about war bonds.
Yep. They were all made in the 40s.
Yeah.
And the inside jokes were, a guy who, I don't know, looks like Eddie Cantor would come in, and you'd be like, what's an Eddie Cantor?
Yeah. Or the chicken that looked like Bing Crosby. Like, you needed an adult nearby to go, let me explain.
Yeah.
And they were often really culturally appropriate. Too.
Oh, yes.
Often, yes, very much so.
But I was watching a lot of those, and they were made in the 40s, and then I go to my parents and go, so we got to stop Hitler, huh? Son, we took care of that. Oh, all right. Great. So, did he apologize? No. He shot himself. Oh, why are we talking about this? I'm 7. But no, it's so funny. You clearly you absorbed all this stuff, and just where were you growing up, by the way?
New Jersey.
Okay, let's not brag.
No. I mean, listen. It's one of the most populous states in the nation, as a matter of fact, Conan.
Really?
That's all I can say to brag about New Jersey.
But it's so small.
It's
How
so
could it
tiny.
be?
But by volume.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What?
For how big it is, there's a lot of people in there. It's got more people per square mile than any other state in the union.
So it's just crowded.
It's a crowded
dense.
state. It's a densely populated state.
Yeah, people, you have to step outside to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm a witty guy.
And 90% of it is pine barrens, which nobody lives in.
Yeah.
So how is that possible? Oh, it's because there's bodies in there.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the bodies in the pine barrens.
That's something you don't mention a lot in the New Jersey Tourist Bureau.
What's that? All the bodies in the pine barrens?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't come up.
Come to the Pine Barrens. You won't not find a body. Wait, what? You described, I think, once that as a kid, you saw a production of Peter Pan that kind of changed your life because there was a moment in the production of Peter Pan that sort of grabbed you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
This was the Peter Pan with Sandy Duncan in the 70s. It was on Broadway, and she would fly out over the audience. And Captain Hook was played by James Hewitt, who was Mr. Belvedere. You might remember that
Christopher Hewitt.
Christopher, thank you. Oh, how does he know everything?
Well, trust me. All he does is go home with, he has flashcards. And
It's true.
yeah, it's like WKRP, Gordon jump.
Can I just say that when that came up right now, every alarm in my head went off and said, "Don't do this. Don't do this."
It doesn't matter. It's close enough.
I know.
No.
But he had his Captain Hook and Smee had a scene in front of the curtain. There must have been a scene change going on, and they're talking, and he just says, "I'm going to get that Peter Pan," and a boy in the audience said, "No, you're not." And he said, "Oh, yes, I will." And the place just went nuts. And it's like
It was improv.
Yes, exactly. But it's just one thing. It's like such a minor example of improv, but it just was so electrifying, so exciting. He went off script and he responded to a child. So yeah, that's the only thing about the show I really remember.
You're editing the rest of it where he goes like, "Oh, yes, I will." And the kid goes, "Fuck you."
Fuck me, fuck you.
You can't say fuck me. I'm a little boy with one leg. One leg, eh? Well, you'll have no legs soon. You little fucking piece of shit.
Hold me back.
Tonight's production of Peter Pan.
Fuck you with a steel hook.
Tonight's production of Peter Pan will be cut short. Your tickets will be refunded in the audience. Oh, no, they fucking won't.
This is gold.
Soon I'll be Mr. Belvedere. And you can all suck my dick. Jesus Christ.
I'm replacing Hervé Villechaize on Fantasy Island, you dickwads.
The little kid's like, I just want to go home.